Now, their pictures we all remember, many will never forget. Almost 5 months since deadly bushfires swept through large parts of the country, families and communities feel more abandoned than ever.
Many have been forced to live in caravans with next to no financial support, despite Australians donating millions to charity. And someone who lost everything in the disaster was Chris Darman, who joins us now from Malua Bay on the New South Wales South Coast. Chris, thank you so much for your time this morning. We wanted to get your reaction to the news that none of Celeste Barber's $51 million funds will go to victims. What do you think of the ruling?
Yeah, I'm appalled. I really think it should all go to the victims rather than stay with the RFS, which is donated to by other sources. And the victims really need that money that she raised, and I don't think it's been directed in the right area. I think it really needs to go out to us people that really need it, because we had a horrific instance that went through here with the fires, and the veracity of the whole situation has been never seen before.
I think it's a really difficult spot for you all and for Celeste as well, and given that she raised the money for people like you. Can you put into words how difficult the last 5 months have been?
It's been horrendous. The situation and the stress on the whole thing has just been so overwhelming. You get nights and the winds, you get no sleep. It's very hard to cope with.
Oh,
very hard. It's yeah, uncertainty, and all that you're left with is the rubble and the remains from behind of the worst situation in the world is a fire. It takes everything, and where a cyclone will leave and blow things away and you can recover them, and they're not scathed by ash. Very hard to recover from ash. You can never rebuild things out of ash. Ash is permanently destroyed. As you can see behind me, the house remains a dirt pad at the caravan that we live in here.
Can you,
No
have you got a cameraman
It's
there
just-
with you? Can you give us just a bit of a look of what is behind you there? Can we see your home?
Yeah, you can pan around and see through the situation here that we have to deal with. The trees, the valley, the damage to all the forest, the amount of wood that's laying on the ground again behind us and beside us. It's just been left. Nobody's come to deal with any of this situation to make it any safer, to give you any sort of positive guarantee of livelihood or any reassurances that it'll be taken care of and dealt with. There's been nothing down here.
Well, I mean,
It's
you're just
absolutely just been forgotten.
You're really in limbo there, aren't you, Chris, at the moment? I mean, like that caravan there behind you, that's where you're living, but you also have to use the bathroom facilities at your local surf club. I mean, it's not okay, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not good at all. We've got no sewer connections here because of the destruction that went through. The pipes were destroyed and burnt. The power went. I had to wait 67 days to get a temporary power supply here. And then when they brought it, they had to drag in 65 metres of cabling because of the destruction. The underground just exploded as well. The tree roots have burnt, the trees are unstable, they're falling, the infrastructure through here is all like destroyed, the power boxes, the phone boxes have all been destroyed, and the road surfaces are all broken up and charred and potholing, and there's been nothing in the case to repair anything down here. It's just been left. It's like the day that the fire came through, and it was just, we've been abandoned. No one's been here at all.
Are you okay, Chris?
All the area throughout, Burry Road, Ridge Road. Beg your pardon?
Are you okay?
I just didn't hear you last. Yeah. Bit of problems. Dealing with it. Getting the issue sorted. Now we've got the rain, which will make the trees even more unstable. And they're encroaching threats. All these things are 30-foot plus trees. And when the fire came through here, the trees were 30 feet and there was 30 foot of fire on top of it. Down through the creek, it went up like Sydney Harbour Bridge on New Year's Eve, with the fireworks just exploding. And it went for 15, 20 minutes through the valley here and over the ridge to the other valley. And we were stuck down on the beach. There was 4,500 people down at Malua Bay Surf Lifesaving Club on the beach with no rescuers, with no RFS, with no police, with no people there at all but the surf lifesavers, who they done a fantastic job. They were the only ones that had water. There was no water, fresh water to put any fires. We had to drive around and there was no water to put fires. No one could get water. There was nothing available to get. The power was gone here at 8 o'clock in the morning and the house was destroyed by 9:45.
Chris, we
15 minutes it took to destroy it.
Chris, we have to leave it there, unfortunately. How it comes to pass that given all the attention, given all the fundraisers, given all the talk, given everything that everyone said they were going to do, someone like you is abandoned is beyond me. But let us work on that from our end and try and get you what you need. We appreciate you being with us, all right? And take care of yourself and your wife.
Thank you, Carl.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Australia.
Aye.
All the best.
I mean, I don't know if that doesn't break
With
your
our
heart.
adversity,
If that doesn't break your heart,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, we all gave and we all contributed and we all did our very best to make sure that people didn't fall through the cracks, that they weren't abandoned, that our emergency services had what they need, and people from the ground up who lost everything had something. We know from the bushfires a few years ago in Melbourne that people fell through the cracks, and we said this won't happen again, and we just saw it then.
Well, we've heard of the Royal Commission there too. I mean, Chris isn't alone. He's one of many examples. And you've got charities who are still sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars that we all gave to help people like Chris, and that money's not getting through.
I'm sorry, but that makes me sick.
And the psychological damage. We forget how lasting that psychological damage is. It's years for kids, for people like that man there. I mean, that was horrible to see, and it continues, unfortunately.
Okay, we'll follow his story up.